This is Algebra 1 Study Guide number 8, page 2. Now, we were talking about direct variations, so we'll come back to that. It has to be a line, and it has to go through the origin. And if you look at the equation y equals mx plus b, that is a line. So if you can make it look like that, and if b, this number right here, is 0, it's going to be a line. It's going to be a direct variation. So in this case, y equals 3x. Well, that's the format, y equals mx plus b. And notice that the b right here is 0. So yes, y-intercept is 0, and it is a line. Y equals x squared, and there's what throws that off right there. Y equals x squared, if you graph that, that is not a line. It does go through the origin, but it's not a line. And then here's a great one. There's your y equals mx plus b. This is a line, but notice the y-intercept is not 0. So this is not a direct variation. I'm just going to put dv for direct variation. Okay, multiply and simplify. Okay, we need to distribute. If we're multiplying 2 things times 2 things, we're going to get 4, and then we'll clean it up. Let's take the 2x. I'm going to mark those out so it doesn't look confusing. I'm going to take the 2x and distribute it to both of these. So 2x times 1x, put a 1 there if you need to, is 2x squared. And 2x times positive 4 is positive 8x. Now let's take the negative 1 and distribute to the 1x, which is negative 1x. And the negative 1 to the positive 4, which is negative 4. So, cleaning it up, we can put these two together. We've got 2x squared. Positive 8x minus 1x is positive 7x. And then we have our minus 4 at the end. And see, it's in standard form. Number 9, you've got 2 things times 3 things, so you're going to have 6 multiplications. You've got to distribute 3 times this way, and then 3 times this way. Let's take the n all the way across. That's a 1n, and that's a 1n squared. So you've got 1n times 1n squared is 1n cubed. And I'm not going to put the 1 there. You can if you want to. 1n times 2n is a positive 2n squared. 1n times negative 4 is negative 4n. And I need to slide that way. Now let's do the 3. Positive 3 times 1n squared, positive 3n squared. Positive 3 times positive 2n, positive 6n. Positive 3 times negative 4, negative 12. Now we got a little bit of cleaning up on this one. It's a little messier. Let's put the n cubed first and get him out of the way. There's no more of those. I have a 2n squared plus a 3n squared, which is 5n squared. I have a negative 4n and a positive 6n, which is positive 2n when I add those together. And that's everything except my constant, which is negative 12. Now this is going to be the same thing, but it's got a little bit of a twist to it. Remember, when you square something, it means to multiply it by itself. So before we do the multiplication, let's write what that means. 5a minus 3 times 5a minus 3. So we need to distribute that 5a to both of these, and then negative 3 to both of these. So I have 5a times 5a is 25a squared. I have 5a times negative 3 is negative 15a. Negative 3 times 5a is negative 15a. And negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. These two will add together. Negative 15 plus negative 15 is negative 30a. And then there's your constant, plus 9 at the end. Okay, let's break down some radicals, some square roots. Okay, let's do the factor tree of 240. And I don't have a lot of room there, so I think I'm going to go over here and do it by the upside down birthday cake. 2 into 240, 120. 2 goes 60. 2 goes 30. And you can do your factor tree any way you want to. I just like this. It's kind of organized. Everything's in nice order. And we got all our numbers. There's a pair of 2's. There's a pair of 2's. So I've got the square root of 2 squared times 2 squared times an extra 3 and an extra 5. So let's bring the square root of the 4 out is 2. The square root of the 4 out is 2. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it 3 times 5. You could go ahead and multiply them if you wanted to. So let's clean up the outside and inside. 4 square root of 15. Now let's do the same thing with this one, except we've got some variables with it. So let's do the square root of 300 over here. 2 goes, factor tree, 150. And 2 goes 75. 2 won't go. 3 will go 25. And then 5 goes 5 times. So we've got a pair of 2's and a pair of 5's. So I've got 2 squared times 3 times 5 squared. You can write those in any order. Now x cubed is going to be x squared times x. And y to the 6 is y squared times y squared times y squared. Now look at all our perfect squares. Get a lot of those out. So square root of the 4 is 2. Square root of the 25 is 5. Square root of the x squared is x. And then each one of these is going to be y. And inside, looks like we're just left a 3x. So let's clean up the outside. We've got 10x, y cubed, with a 3x left underneath.